see what happens when it will try and put it in gear. Oh! Well, welcome back to yet another episode of Rough Restos, and this one is going to be a rough resto. So, M113. She's a bit hurt. 200,000 mile engine. Been off the road for a few years. Bought pretty much, you know, not on the road, just in a shell. Got it running in the car. Turns out it's burning oil. Not ideal. And I got low compression on cylinder 1 and cylinder 4. I'll show you the results of all that now. So, cylinder 1, cylinder 4 plugs on the side, both have oil on them. Cylinder 1 appears to have more oil, but it could just be because it's cleaner. Cylinder 1, 100 psi, cylinder 2, 190, 3, 180, 4, 80 psi. Oh dear. Leak down test. Obviously couldn't be entirely accurate because that stupid new leak down tester leaks in the middle. So, that's great for a leak down tester to leak. But roughly, cylinder 1, that's probably around about a 40% leak down. Cylinder 2, about 5%, which is a good cylinder, so I guess that's fine. There's going to be some leak down, because the rings don't create a solid seal. Didn't bother to test cylinder 3, but again, it's going to be similar, sort of 5% probably, looking at what I did see of it. And cylinder 4, well, 50% leak down about. Not good. So yeah, she's a bit hurt. Burning a bit of oil when it gets up to temperature, which indicates piston rings, and with the leak down test, the leak down on cylinder 1 and 4 are going to the crankcase. So I've definitely got piston ring issues there. Not ideal. So, what are we going to do about it? Well, it's worn away, or been wearing away the coating on the cylinder walls. So aluminium cylinder walls with a alu something coating. Either way, it's buggered. You can't fix it. Well, you could fix it, but it would be horrifically expensive and a very specialist job to try and do that. Never ever worth it. So, this engine is dead. But, ideally I need to get it tuned and want to try and see if I can get it to burn just a bit less oil to get it on the road, so I can use this as a test dummy engine before I then build the spare engine, which is good, and put it in there. So I want to get a bit more life out of it really before I make it to a coffee table. So, I've got nothing to lose. The worst case is this engine continues to burn oil and it gets worse, burns more oil, misfires more. That's about it really. It's still got oil pressure, there's no metal in the oil, it's all good. So what am I going to use? Wind Supercharge. So supposedly this stuff restores compression and reduces oil consumption. I doubt it, but what can go wrong? So, I've drained a bit of oil out the sump. I've got 2 cans of this, I've warmed them up and it still feels like tar in there. I don't usually put this stuff in an engine like this, but I've got nothing to lose. So, let's change the oil filter, because I've got a few cheap ones, and put this stuff in. So I got me a new strap wrench. Not sure how this one here works. Left loosey, righty tighty. We want to go out of the way. See if it works. Does indeed. So I've warmed the engine up, of course. So you want warm oil to put this into. Oh. And there goes the rest draining back to the sump. Yeah. Nice. Now, from what I can work out, this engine has been really badly serviced. I don't even set the spark plugs and everything is just a mess. Which isn't very nice, really. Not for a Mercedes 5-litre V8 in a luxury car. What have we got here then? Got me a couple O-rings. 5 O-rings? Oh. Why can't Mercedes keep things simple? Right, I'll just fix all this in a minute. Filter replaced, ideal. Give it a proportion. This cap always looks male-y. We've got nothing else to indicate any cylinder head issues though, so maybe it just needs a good old drive. So 1 can of liquid tar. What's it like then? Oh, it is like syrup. I might even have to funnel that in. Oh, look at that stuff. It's like treacle. Oh no, that won't even go down the hole. Oh no. What? That's warm as well. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to spend my next few hours pouring this in the hole a minute. Well, the syrup is in. No idea how many hours it's going to take to drain down to a sump and get around a system. That stuff is thick, but basically all we need to do now is warm the engine up, get up to operating temperature, let it circulate and mix it with the oil, and then it's ready to start working. Now they don't indicate how many miles you should do really to expect to start working, so it's a bit of a guessing game. However, this car's not on the road yet, I need to tune it, and then hopefully get it on the road is the plan, and obviously finish off the whole car. So it's now just going to be doing a few test runs, a lot of tuning, and yeah. So hopefully you guys will see me in a minute in the future, and I'll have an update to say if it worked or didn't work. It's next weekend already. Got a nice little parcel. We've got a brand new Fairly Bilstein. Yeah. Donut kit. Perfect. Not a nice edible donut, but a nice donut nonetheless. So, I didn't cheap out on that. See, if you're going to have a transmission rubber coupler, why go cheap? You know, it's quite a vital part. And if it is cheap and rubbish and it causes you vibrations, then you can be chasing your tail wondering what it is, thinking, oh, new part, just not worth it. So, and actually to be fair, I got this one at a good price. Funny enough, off Amazon. I saved about 20 quid getting this off Amazon versus the auto dock and everything else. It was on offer on Amazon. And it was there like prime next day. So, fair play. I'll take that. But, that is no use without this. And here we go. Here is my 5-foot prop shaft from Northwest Prop Shafts. So, they've taken my front section from the Mercedes prop. So this is part of the V8 prop. They've then cut it short, put me a centre bearing in it, which then goes to a UJ, then to a sliding joint, and then a new section back to the outless rear flange. So this should hopefully do the job. I'm hoping so because they want cheap. But yeah, that's providing I've measured it correctly. So I've actually had this now since it arrived Tuesday, when it's, instead of last Friday. So I've had it a week now, just been too nervous to try and fit it. Because it's scary, isn't it? If this is wrong or right. And not only that, mounting this and getting this bearing that right is way out of my comfort zone. But, like everything else, we'll get it done. So I think we should get it done. So you'll see me in 2 seconds when the car's up in the air and when the exhausts are off, ready for us to start looking at this. So I've just placed it in position here. So we've got a new donut prop, goes down, comes the back axle. So it looks like it might fit. Not sure yet. There's obviously a bit of a difference in the angles from the UJs at the back here to the rear. But the rear end's still got to come up. The only thing is, it probably could have done with being about 10mm shorter. Because there's not much left on the sliding joint. And obviously that's got to go up a bit yet anyway when the weight goes on the axle. But we'll keep going anyway. So, I've got to work out, I've got to get this mounted now parallel to the gearbox. It looks like it's pointing down, to be fair, too much at the minute. Which means I might have an issue with getting the bearing in this, tunnel here. We'll find out. But obviously I can't mount this on the rubber, because the rubber flexes, and that's going to make it really difficult to get it lined up. Especially when this thing here can't be any more than 1 degree out of parallel to a transmission. Because that would cause big vibrations with this rubber donut, apparently. So, my idea is, got some slightly longer bolts. I'm hoping the bolt patterns, I'm sure they are, the same of the 2 flanges. So I'm going to remove a donut, bolt the flanges together, and have some nuts and bolts in the middle which space out the width of a donut. That way I can solid mount the prop onto the output flange of the gearbox. And then if I can take the weight off it as well with one of these jacks stands, this then should be hopefully parallel to the gearbox, and I can mount the bearing. That's the idea. Yeah, out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to try and get that sussed out in a minute, and I'll see you shortly. Well, there's no prop on the floor anymore, which means it's going to be one place. It's on the car. So we've got our new donut in, the new bolts. Comes back to the centre bearing here. Now, a bit of a temporary setup on the bracket at the minute. I've made some 3mm steel brackets, which are bolted to a shell. Once I've tested this and I know it works and doesn't vibrate, that's the idea. What I want to do is obviously weld these brackets into a shell and then make some gussets up as well, just to really, properly secure it. But to be fair, it can't go anywhere because it's on a fairly strong bit of shell-ish. Bolted both sides. Such a short bit of bracket here. It can't move, but still, I want to beef it up a bit. And it comes back to the diff. So the angles here, we have got a angle, but the centre angle is straighter than I would like. At least on overrun. Now I guess when the pinion points upwards, it's actually going to be probably a lot better angle. So, might actually not be that bad. If this angle here obviously mirrors the engine angle, which is at 3 degrees, or should be. So if the pinion points up that sort of amount as well, then it will equal out, hopefully under load. Actually got more play than I thought in the sliding joint. And I've got weight on the wheels now, so that should be fine as well. Whew. I guess pop the exhaust back on, lower the car down and see if we've got movement. And then I've got a whole load of tuning to do, haven't I, to get it to work properly, and just an unbelievable amount of work on this car in general to do. Oh my days, it just keeps adding up. Yeah, I need to spend a few years restoring this car properly at some point, but not yet. Still got a couple dodgy cylinders, and that throttle weight won't close properly. Just see what happens in it, we'll try and put it in gear. Oh, it moves. Oh, I haven't driven this since I parked it up in November. It's got a lot of torque though. RPM's hardly moving. Interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Got a bit of something clunky in the drivetrain when I let go, when I let off it, like when the pinion angle changes. So I'll just start smoothing out some of the tune really here. I've basically copied, I managed to find online basically I think it was an M113K ignition table. So slightly different, and it's for a boosted application, but it should be close enough to get me started. Maybe anything I might have to knock a bit of timing off, but not sure yet. But obviously I took the NA part of that map and I sort of scaled it onto my map here and produced something similar to what Mercedes had. So ignition timing wise then, we should be close, hopefully. That is providing the M113K, is obviously an AMG engine, providing they're not running a ton more advanced timing. I don't think so on the NA side of things, because it's obviously under boost. The only thing different obviously is the compression. So we'll see anyway. I'll keep an eye on it. So, that was a success, we think. Either way, we've hit another milestone because the car drives. The car also doesn't seem to overheat, although I'm not entirely happy with the way, I think because I don't think I've got enough coolant capacity in there. With a smaller radiator and that bottle there, I want some more fluid up a bit higher so I can have a bigger air gap for expansion and ensure that I've always got a water level above this top radiator hose. And at the minute I think I'm right on the edge. So, not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but ideally I need a bigger tank and it needs to be a bit higher up. So, got to do something like that at some point. There was a slight noise, as you guys may have heard, when I was letting off reverse. Obviously when I'm reversing, the pinion angle is going down on the axle, not up. So whether that is just because of the angle, maybe that's affecting something, I don't know. I didn't seem to get any noises, knocks and bangs when I let off and going forwards, although it's very hard to hear because it's so friggin' loud. So I do have to, and now obviously now it's outside driving, the exhaust leaks, obviously where we know they're going to be, where I haven't got any clamps or any paste on the joints, they're pretty obvious, so I might need to paste it up for some more driving, which I didn't want to do, but yeah. I did earlier on pop 2 cans of Wind supercharging, hoping that it might help a bit with the oil consumption. Obviously that takes a little while to start working, although it shouldn't take that long to thicken the oil to see to sort of help with the piston ring issues. Which obviously, judging by the video, it's not. It was misfiring pretty badly. Again, that would be due to fouled spark plugs. So I've got 16 new spark plugs here. Obviously, them 2 low compression cylinders are going to be quite heavily fouled. Joys. And I'm going to bolt the ignition drivers back onto the ECU board in a moment, and I might just connect back up the double coil packs again and just see how warm the drivers get and see if they stick it. Risky, I know, but I wouldn't mind having the twin spark, especially on the 2 cylinders that are struggling and getting fouled up. So yeah, that is another huge bit of success. I'm happy with that. I really want to get it a bit more drivable. So I need to do a big list in a minute of what we need to do. I want to get it a bit more drivable so I can start properly tuning it and refining all these little issues. There's so much to do still, so much to do, and not much time. Next weekend is another bank holiday. So to be really making a good step on this before June's a write-off, I need to get this engine bay painted, which means I need to do all the welding, all the modifications, take the whole engine bay back to bare metal and the front end properly, and prime and paint it all. Next weekend, that might be pushing it a tad, I will see. Really that's what I need to do. Whether it's going to be possible, definitely pushing it, but I think that's where we're next going with this. I'm going to start tinkering with some of the little bits and bobs probably off camera because, yeah, you guys have seen most of what's done and what needs to be done on a little bit. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, much appreciated. I do love the support, and I'm glad some of you are enjoying this build. I know it's upsetting a few, but meh, it's my car, my build, meh. I'm happy anyway. And yeah, I just appreciate the support. So if this is your first time watching, then why not jump onto our channel and look back on all the previous content on this, previously when it was also the twin turbo Cosworth build, the Range Rovers, the Mark II Golf when it was the 25 turbo quick build, parts on the build before that one. I've just got all sorts on there really, and there's a few more bits to come. One thing sitting right there in a minute. Yeah, so why not subscribe, stick around, drop me a comment what you think, like the video because that goes a long way to helping my channel, and well, look, I'll see you guys again next time. I've been Jordan. Cheers.